In The Hobbit, the Arkenstone emerges as one of the narrative's most meaningful symbols. It is not merely part of the vast treasure guarded by Smaug in the Lonely Mountain, now sought by Thorin, the rightful heir to the throne of King under the mountain. It comes to represent the power of the king himself. To really understand this part of the novel, one must understand how Professor Tolkien used a blend of legend and his personal religious beliefs to create an effective symbol. To begin understanding the Arkenstone, we need to look at how it is depicted in the novel in a literal sense first. Tolkien describes it first as simply a great white gem. He also goes on to call it the heart of the mountain. Now, there is a good amount of connotative value in calling something the heart of the mountain. It's a focal point, it's a center point, it's perhaps the most valuable part of it. If we say that, for example, an athlete is the heart of the team, we know that the team relies upon him and adds emphasis. So, in calling this the heart of the mountain, we immediately show a connection between the king of that mountain and his possession over the Arkenstone. To take this a little deeper, too, Thorin himself in the novel says that the Arkenstone was from his father and that it's worth more than the gold contained inside the mountain. Notice, too, in this passage that Thorin says, "To me, it is beyond price." And that emphasis on himself shows a personal connection to the Arkenstone. It makes it into an heirloom. It has value to him, and we have to wonder what value would it have to the other people. In the film version of The Hobbit, the Arkenstone is seen as much more than simply an heirloom. It's a symbol of the king's right to rule. They say in the film it's a sign that the right to rule was divine, or it was power bestowed by God. But in the novel, we do see it more as a symbol of lineage. Thorin goes on to call it an heirloom of his house, sort of showing that the stone represents who Thorin is, who his family was, and the significance he places on that lineage. Here we can see some images from the film version of The Hobbit, who takes this Arkenstone symbol and does something a little bit different with it. They craft this as a symbol of power. You can see here in the middle that the film sort of shows how the Arkenstone bestows the right to rule upon the bearer. So it sort of validates Thorin, once he gets the Arkenstone, as the true king. But notice down here in this corner, we have this great quote from Balin the dwarf, who says that a sickness lies on that treasure, the treasure inside the Lonely Mountain, and that includes the Arkenstone. As we watch the film, we can see Thorin become more and more obsessed with finding the stone, and his character changes into one very much like Gollum, who we encountered earlier in the novel, who becomes obsessed with feeling powerful. He says that the sickness drove Thorin's grandfather mad, and we begin seeing something similar in Thorin himself. Now, let's look at how Professor Tolkien may have used his spiritual beliefs to craft a really effective symbol in The Hobbit. In biblical scripture, the Ark of the Covenant is an object that holds the Ten Commandments, which were bestowed to Moses by God as laws for mankind to follow, and they are written on stone slabs. So if we blend those words together, Ark of the Covenant and stone slabs, we come up with Arkenstone. Now, it's important to remember that these are commandments. This is a sort of divine right to rule. So we have to wonder, is this why Thorin truly craves that Arkenstone? So what conclusions can we draw from this? Do you agree or disagree with my analysis of the Arkenstone? Think about, how does Professor Tolkien use his faith and blend that with his scholarship in ancient legends to craft an effective narrative? And think about this too. Which is the more effective depiction of the Arkenstone? Is it better to have it the way it is in the novel, where it's a sign of Thorin's lineage, and that his lineage bestows upon him the right to rule, and the Arkenstone simply shows he is next in line? Or is it better in the film, where the Arkenstone takes on a much more spiritual, divine right of Thorin to rule, and it validates him as king under the mountain? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.